Hello everyone, I'm Heather at Amalgamingle, and today I just wanted to give you my first impressions of one of this month's PS Plus games called Temtem, a creature collecting MMORPG. Before I get started, I want to apologise for not having a video up for the last 2 weeks. First my daughter was ill, then I was ill, now Craig's ill. You might still be able to hear it in my voice a little bit since I'm not 100%. But anyways, Temtem. I will most likely be doing a more detailed should you play review of this game further down the line, so be sure to subscribe to be notified when that video drops. Temtem is one of those games that I've been meaning to play for a long time, but have never prioritised for some reason or another, which is surprising considering my fondness for monster taming games such as Ni no Kuni, Pokemon, Palworld, Nexomon and more. The first thing I want to say is that, in terms of gameplay, Temtem is pretty much a carbon copy of Pokemon, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not sure why Nintendo are hyper-focused on Palworld when this game exists, but give them time. Anyway, you begin your journey as an apprentice, eager to learn all you can about the tameable creatures that populate the world known as Temtems, and record the data in your Tempedia, all whilst capturing them using Tem cards, deploying them in battle, and watching other players roam around doing the same thing. Even though the gameplay is heavily inspired by Pokemon, complete with evolutions, shinies known as Lunar Temtem, storage boxes, breeding, starters, healing centres, and even our very own Professor Konstantinos, the game changes things up just enough to make it feel unique. When you start the game, you get to customise your own character, and the options are pretty good, albeit basic. But you can choose clothing and change the colours also. You then start your journey in the small hamlet of Zadar, where you must choose one of 3 starter Temtems. The Temtems themselves are where this game truly shines and finds its identity. The designs are surprisingly creative, and some of the Temtem types are very interesting. There's 12 types in the game: neutral, fire, water, nature, electric, earth, mental, wind, digital, melee, crystal and toxic. The relationship between the elemental types in terms of strengths and weaknesses are what you would expect. Fire is weak to water and so on and so forth. However, the introduction of some new types we aren't accustomed to, such as digital and crystal, means we have a brand new and extensive type chart to memorise. Anyways, for your starter, you can choose between the melee Temtem Smazzy, the crystal Temtem, aptly named Crystal, or the mental Temtem Hoochik. You are also gifted the Wind Temtem 2i shortly after choosing your starter, which is really nice. You are then free to run around grassy areas to discover and catch wild Temtem. There are currently 165 known and tameable creatures in Temtem, but with this being an online game that will no doubt increase in popularity as a PS Plus feature, it's likely this number will increase. When it comes to battling, it is very much your standard fare turn-based system. You can have up to 6 Temtem in your party, and each one has 4 ability slots. You get money for defeating other trainers and XP, and if you want to catch a Temtem, you have to whittle down its health and use a Tem card. And although this is par for the course for these kinds of games, it somehow feels all new. Evolutions are really exciting, since, unlike Pokemon, we are mostly unfamiliar with Temtems, and therefore you don't know what you're going to get. It's so refreshing. Battles can be challenging in their frequency. What I mean by that is you can't take more than a few steps without being accosted by some trainer, simply trying to get from point A to point B. Healing balms and revives aren't cheap, and health centres are scattered quite far apart. So you might find yourself with a wounded party of Temtems being sucked into yet another compulsory battle you aren't prepared for, since you haven't had a chance to breathe since your last compulsory battle. If you lose money and are whisked away back to the last centre you visited, which can be really annoying. Since this is an online game, there is a chat you can engage in locally or globally, and trade opportunities. Furthermore, you can play this game competitively and as part of a team, but that's something I have yet to explore since this is just first impressions video and I wanted to get a feel for the game first. Personally, I'm really enjoying Temtem. Admittedly, I've played it for about 3 hours so far, and I can see that there is still so much to discover. Not only mechanics such as climbing and fishing, clearly, but there's an absolutely astonishing, huge world map here. I can see myself becoming obsessed with Temtem, and I can't wait to really sink my teeth into the game and be able to provide you with a thorough should you play review. Let me know if you are currently playing Temtem and what you make of it in the comments, also which starter you chose. I've been Heather at Amalgam Mingle, and thank you very much for watching.